We will watch a verse now. Had he not been a sperm from semen emitted, ألم يكن نطفة, a sperm من مني يمنى. He was not man, one sperm of a semen. Look, it's telling nutfa, one, not nutfa time, not nutfa, three. One, he was now one sperm from manni yumna, ejected fluid. We will check this.
Ejaculatory process begins. Here, you can see the mature sperm traveling from the epididymis
Sperm coming from here.
through the vas deferens, a muscular tube which propels sperm forward through smooth muscle contractions. The sperm arrive first at the ampulla, where secretions from the seminal vesicle are added.
Added to the sperm, semen is added.
From the ampulla, seminal fluid is propelled forward through the ejaculatory ducts toward the urethra, passing first by the prostate gland, where a milky fluid is added to form semen.
Okay, we are enough of this. We showed you from different places, they telling the same story. And we saw that sperm is something else.
Well, how?
And semen is something and sperm is something else. We will check if it's a baby is fertilized the egg with one sperm or two sperms, because it's
Sometimes
telling
we get the question, well, how are twins?
in the verse it's telling one nutfa, one. There is twins, maybe there is two nutfa. We will check this. This is the egg and this is the sperm. From one sperm, the egg is fertilized. After happens the zygote. When it becomes a morula, more hatch, it splits. It becomes twin. But it's from one sperm, one nutfa. This is identical twins. Also, they are made from one sperm, nutfa, one. Fraternal twins, there is two eggs, each egg is fertilized with one sperm. Yani it's also one sperm, nutfa, one. And the verse is true, it's telling one nutfa, it's one sperm fertilizing the egg.
Twins derived, okay? So if you get identical twins, what's happened with identical twins is that the morula that we talked about on the previous slide, the morula splits. And when the morula splits, you wind up with two different embryos, so you have identical twins. Fraternal twins, on the other hand, is where you actually have two different eggs that are fertilized by two different sperm. So those are fraternal twins.
Now we will take
Fertilized
idea.
outside her body.
We will take idea about the woman reproductive system. So when we speak about something, you understand we were talking about.
Then placed back inside her body to help her get pregnant. A woman's reproductive system includes the vagina, cervix, uterus.
This is Beit al-Raham in Arabic, and this is Anbub Beit al-Raham. This is the ovaries of the woman.
Fallopian tubes, and ovaries. During the monthly menstrual cycle, one of the ovaries releases an egg in a process called ovulation. After ovulation, the egg enters the fallopian tube. A woman is most likely to become pregnant if she has sex in the days just before, during, or right after ovulation.
The egg must be fertilized here. If it's fertilized here or here, the egg comes for the woman from here from the tube here. The egg must be fertilized here. If it's fertilized elsewhere, she wouldn't be
During this
pregnant.
time, a sperm cell from a man's reproductive fluid, called semen, is able to fertilize the egg just inside the fallopian tube.
travels along the fallopian tube, the fertilized egg, now called an embryo,
Look, when the egg is fertilized, it will change it will become a zygote. After it will come a morula, a number of cells. After it will change into an embryo. It will change into an embryo here.
loses the outer cells that nourished it in the ovary. The embryo passes from the fallopian tube into the uterus.
This is beta rahim, this is the uterus. After it becomes an embryo, it will attach in the wall of the uterus, beta rahim بالعربي.
In the uterus, the embryo sheds its protective outer layer, called the zona pellucida, in a process called zona hatching.
When first fertilized the egg, it will become more cells, and it will change from zygote to embryo. This is the second stage. After it will implant into the wall of the uterus, beta rahim بالعربي. This is the second stage.
Zona hatching is necessary for the embryo to implant in the tissue lining the uterus. During implantation, a connection between the woman and the fertilized egg.
Okay. We will see a verse here. Had he not been a sperm from a semen emitted, we saw this. Then he was a clinging clot. ثم كان علقة. After he was an embryo. فجعل منه الزوجين ذكر وأنثى. And he made of him two mates, and male and female. He made from the sperm. He's speaking about the nutfa. فجعل منه, not منها. He made the male and female from the sperm of the man. We will check this if the verse is correct. And made of him two mates. فجعل منه من النطفة. We will check this. Is it possible that the male sperm decides that it may be male or female? We will check this one.
After the sperm arrives in your fallopian tube, it will combine with your egg and merge.
When sperm comes to the egg and it's fertilized, only one sperm enters the egg.
Fertilized egg or zygote. It's interesting to note that it is the sperm that carries the chromosome that determines sex.
You see? It's the male sperm that carries the chromosome who decides if it's male or female. It's the male decides this.
At this point,
Why? You know why the male decides that it's a girl or a boy when it's fertilized egg? Because half of the sperms of the man are woman and half of them are male. You know this? Half of the sperms, they have these chromosomes which make them woman if the egg is fertilized. And the other half, they have Y chromosome. If this Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, it becomes a woman. Then who decides male or female? The male sperm. It's correct.
the zygote sex has been determined by either a male Y chromosome or a female X chromosome. At this point, your little zygote will begin the journey from fallopian tube to uterus.
Spermatozoa, we are referring to sperm. Okay, so let's look at the morphology and what some of the important structures are associated with the sperm. So you have three different regions. There's the head, the midpiece, and the tail. So the head contains a couple of important things, and number one, those are the chromosomes. And so what I'd like to ask you is how many autosomes are there in the head, and how many sex chromosomes? So if you want to pause the video for a moment and think about that, and then I'll give you the answer in just a minute. Okay, so remember sperm are haploid, and because they're haploid, that means they're 1N. That means we're going to have 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome.
Look, the sperm carries 22 DNA's chromosomes that makes the body, and 1 sex chromosome. The woman's zygote doesn't carry it. The sperm carries one sex chromosome. Maybe it's male, maybe it's female. This sperm, if it's male and it fertilizes the egg, it's a boy. If this sperm, it carries Y chromosome and it fertilizes the egg, it's a woman. The verse is true. جعل منه ذكر والأنثى.
Chromosome.